Hi, welcome to the Brief Book Reviews channel, otherwise known as An Old Guy Reviews the Book That He's Read This Week. So what's the old guy read this week? Well, the book I've read this week is called Fearless by author M.W.Craven, Mike Craven. Released here in the UK on the 29th of June 2023 as a hardback. People will probably be familiar with M.W. Craven's previous books featuring Washington Poe. This, however, is a new character. That new character is called Ben Koenig. Ben's of originally German descent, dropped the umlaut, so it's now Ben Koenig. He's the head of the US Marshall Special Ops Group. The US Marshall Special Ops Group are the people that deal with really, really bad people. But Ben has dropped off the grid since his last mission in Gecko Creek 6 years ago. He's dropped off the grid and nobody knows where he's gone. The inside cover of the book tells us there are 5 million reasons why Ben has disappeared. And I don't think it's given this. There's not too many spoilers, not much of a giveaway to indicate that the reason Ben's disappeared is in that last operation. He shot somebody who was, how can we say, connected, and there's a bounty out on him. So Ben, for the last 6 years, has been going from town to town, acting effectively a drifter, and been keeping his head down. So the story starts with Ben sat in a bar in a small town, minding his own business, and noticing that the barman is taking an unusual interest in him. He quickly realises the reason for that is that his face is on every television in the bar, and all of a sudden it appears that he's been placed on the US Marshall's top 15 most wanted list. It's an old photo from when he was a US Marshal, but nevertheless, despite the fact he looks slightly different nowadays, people will recognise him. And thus the tale unfolds, and it turns out that the reason that Ben's been put on the most wanted list is that his former boss Mitch wants him to do a job. It's quite a personal job because Mitch's daughter Martha has gone missing, and thus the tale unfolds. Ben, however, is slightly different to most marshals, most investigators, in that he's got a medical problem. He's got a problem with the amygdala, the part of his brain that covers emotion. And he's got a disease, and I'm going to have to look this up because I'll misspell it, called Urbach-Wiether, which makes him, basically, the amygdala is perishing, and it means that the bit of emotion in his brain that covers fear has gone. Hence the title of the book, Ben Koenig, is Fearless, which is great in some ways because it means that he can head into situations without fear. But clearly in his US Marshal days, that also was a problem because he had a team of people with him, and not recognising fear, whilst an advantage, was also a disadvantage when going into situations that could be dangerous to the rest of his team. But anyway, I digress. So Ben's got this problem, and he is fearless, and he's highly skilled. He's had sessions with US Special Forces, UK Special Forces, Israeli Special Forces. He's highly trained, highly skilled. So he has, in effect, got the equipment to go searching for US Marshal's director's missing daughter, Martha. Trail leads him to a small town called Gauntlet, which is in the Chihuahuan Desert. Doesn't appear to be much going on in Gauntlet, and it's almost a one-company town. The company is dominated by a solar power company, formed by a bright, up-and-coming entrepreneur who was, more famous for his climbing exploits than his entrepreneurial exploits. But he's built a huge solar farm, not on the standard photovoltaic cell type farm, but in a valley where he's got some, and I need to check this as well, some heliostats, which are effectively mirrors that take the sun and then convert via a turbine into electricity, which they feed into the local grid and sell excess to the national grid. So very successful operation, but the trail leads to Gauntlet, and Ben can't quite make out what's going on here, because whilst this company employs a lot of people in the town, has brought some money into the town, there's a lot of people not quite sure what's going on at this company, and it's almost if it's too good to be true, then there's something dodgy going on. And Ben's spidey sense tells him that there's something wrong here. And sure enough, there is. So a really good, fast-moving thriller. And, previous viewers on the Brief Book Reviews channel will know that I'm a big Jack Reacher fan. And this is almost a Reacher-esque story. The story of a highly trained drifter going into a small town in the middle of nowhere, a one-company town, and knowing that there's a problem here somewhere. And sure enough, there's a problem. There's a real big problem. And the twist in the tale, which unveils what's actually going on in this small town, is left almost to the end of the book. So it's very well structured, very well written. I really enjoyed it. I'd give it 8 out of 10 any day of the week. So that's the first book I've read by M.W.Craven. I'm sure there'll be another Ben Koenig story. This one was fast-paced, well-structured. Maybe the plot's a little bit, as I said, Reacher-esque. It's probably been done before, but it's well written. It's fast-moving. Again, I'll give it 8 out of 10. So I think that's it for this week's Brief Book Review. Thanks for watching. 10-10 till we do it again. Cheers.